I don't care if it's a week, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? LeBron James. That's who y'all got to start appreciating. And you got to stop disrespecting this man. You got A.J. Brown, who's a legit number one, and you got Julio, who's a legit number one. One of them dudes got to get double teamed. Who gonna get double teamed? And whoever gets double teamed, the other one gets the ball. I'm saying this with no pun intended, but full of pride. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Prideful Takes podcast. Pardon the mess in the back. My green screen broke for some unknown reason today, so I'm going to have to deal with that later. But that's how you're not here to talk about my life. Y'all don't care. We're here for some sports, America's pastime. And obviously, I can't talk with sports on a glorious Monday without the man, the myth, the legend himself. He wore the jersey just to spite me. I'm not. I'm going to tell you why. But, of course, it's Mike. How you doing, my guy?
What's up, man? Another Monday to talk some sports, man. Appreciate being here.
Yes, sir. I just want to let you know why they that jersey kind of gets me, and it's because I believe ever since he passed away, Kobe Bryant has been one of the most overrated athletes in the history of the game. Again, not to say he's trash. If that's a conversation you want to have, I promise next week we can have it. And then when I lay out the groundwork, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, not to say you agree, but you at the bare minimum at least hear me out. That's all I want. I just want you to be able to hear me out.
I would love to hear you out because coming from a Kobe Bryant fan, yes, I would love to hear your take on.
But of course, we'll cross that bridge, of course, when we get there. But of course, as of right now, you and I, we kind of had a little bit of fun. Last week we did our Eastern Conference predictions, the whole seeding and all that stuff. This week we were tasked to do the Western Conference. So, Mike, how you got the West shaping out?
This was, to me, was pretty much way easier for the than the East. Mm-hmm. But it was some teams I wanted to give a playoff spot to, but I didn't give it to. But I'll get there when I'm finished. Number 1 seed got the Warriors. 2 seed got the Phoenix Suns. 3 seed got the Denver Nuggets. 4th, the Utah Jazz. The 5th seed, the LA Lakers. The 6th seed, the LA Clippers. 7th seed, the Dallas Mavericks. Then the 8th seed is the Trailblazers. And the first round got the Warriors over the Blazers in 5. The Lakers over the Jazz in 7. The Suns over the Mavs in 6, the Nuggets over the Clippers in 7, and then for the second round, I got the Warriors over the Lakers in 6, then the Suns over the Nuggets in 6, and from my conference finals, I got the number 1 seed Warriors taking out the number 2 Phoenix Suns in 7, which means the Warriors will be heading to the finals. Back to the finals to face Kevin Durant and the Nets.
Yeah, you and I believe we actually kind of have, for the most part, both of our things look relatively the same. They look relatively the same. Now, I do have some differences, but we'll start, obviously. My number 1 is the Utah Jazz. Number 2, Warriors. 3 Nuggets, 4 Suns, 5 Lakers, 6 Clippers, 7 Mavs, and 8 Grizzlies. I got the Jazz taking care of the Grizzlies 4-1. Lakers taking care. The Suns taking care of the Lakers 4-2. The Nuggets taking care of the Clippers 4-2, and then the Mavs getting annihilated by the Warriors 4-1. After that, the Suns take care of the Jazz in 6. Warriors also handle Nuggets in 6. Then the Western Conference Finals, it's Warriors taking down the Suns in, I believe it was 6, and then we have the Golden State Warriors as the Western Conference champions. Look, for me, if you were to ask me this, I'll be honest with you. If you were to ask me this, let's say like a month ago, I wouldn't have said that. Yeah. But preseason, I had the Suns coming out.
Yeah, me too.
Now, no disrespect to the Suns whatsoever. But when you have Steph Curry balling out the way he's been, and on top of that, they're not healthy and they only lost twice. Let's put it in the context. Like, to me, that just puts them. It puts the Warriors in a whole separate stratosphere. It puts them in a whole nother dimension. It puts them in a whole separate category because, like I said, look again. Right now, Steph is playing at a phenomenal pace. This guy has the potential, dare I say, to probably be unanimous MVP if he keeps this up. He's got that potential. He'll be if I'm not mistaken, he's the only person to do it once.
Yeah.
He will be the only person, like, at the rate he's going, if he gets it, the only person to do it twice. God damn, this kid is special. I'm sorry, not kid. Man, I keep making the mistake of calling Steph a kid, and he will beat me up. I made this joke before. The more I say the joke, the more I feel like it's not a joke anymore. Someone said something about his daughter, or said Aisha Curry can't cook. Maybe they was making jokes about his moms and his pops. Maybe they were saying his brother's garbage. I don't know what it was. But this year, he's been playing angry. He's mad. He's furious right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know who got him mad. But it's like, yo, Steph, talk to us. What got you mad, bro? Like, who did it? Like, you know that meme that goes, hey, yo, who got you smiling like that?
Yeah.
But like, yo, Steph, who got you frowning like that? Like, that's how mad this dude is. And Steph, don't tell us why. Just give us a name so we can go and handle him. Because at this point, Steph is just toying with dudes on a level that's borderline disrespectful. And I feel like that disrespect got to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah, all that losing, get to you. And one point you didn't say they doing all this winning, and they don't even got Klay Thompson or James Wiseman.
That's why I said the injuries. They're doing all this with injuries.
Bro,
Like, they got
that's
the best.
scary.
They're dominating with injuries. And here's the thing. The way they're playing, and I do like Jordan Poole because he has stepped up greatly for this team. The thing is, when Klay comes back, there's going to be no pressure. Because Steph and Jordan Poole have been doing their thing to the point where they're kind of like, yo, Klay, ease your way back into it. And I said this before, don't be surprised if the Warriors don't care and throw a game or two because they're forcing Klay to get him back into the swing of things. Because, again, practice is one thing. On the court is something completely different. So I wouldn't be surprised if they say, yo, we don't care. Yo, Klay, you're going to take, 20, 30 shots. We don't care.
Or they might give him 3 games just to get back into shape. 3 games, they could be like, hey, we don't care about losing this. We so far ahead. But but one team, maybe 2 teams I can see knocking off the Warriors. I would say the Lakers just because the Lakers got more sass than them. That's pretty much it. But I really think the Nuggets, I mean not the Nuggets, the Suns got winged up to slow down Curry and them.
Oh yeah.
To maybe knock them off. So Phoenix probably my only team that could get back to the finals. Everybody else is just good luck next year.
Oh no, 100%. It really is. Like the way I look at it. Again, no disrespect whatsoever to anyone in the West, but let's be honest. Like, at the way the Warriors are playing, they're playing at a phenomenal pace. A pace that it's top tier. Let's call it what it is. They're playing at a top tier level. And a lot of people are saying, by the way, a lot of people keep saying, "Oh my God, you can, all these other accounts, they have an easy schedule, whatever." Again, the team that the Warriors are beating that are easy, the Lakers are losing to, because that's kind of the problem. A lot of Warriors. Because listen, man, I do a few other shows here and there, and shout out to my boy Freddie. He is a Lakers fan, but he's not a logical one. Is what the one thing he hates about Dallas, that they're over emotional, but then he acts the same way with the Lakers. It's wild to me. Like, and the thing with Lakers fans is they get mad when you praise any other team. Any other team, they get mad when you praise. And it's kind of like where we are right now. Everyone thought the Lakers were going to be the best. I did it. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think right now the Lakers are a first round exit. It's just when they got Russ. And again, if you want to have this conversation, I have no problem having this conversation with you. But when they got Russ, I don't know if I told you this, they basically got an older version of Kyle Kuzma.
Hey, I'm a Bulls fan.
Right. And
I'm just praising Kobe Bryant. That's
right. No, I got you. But the thing is, for me, I think what happened was when they traded for Russ, they got an older Kyle Kuzma, right? People get mad at me when I say that. But I say I don't mean in terms of talent. I mean in terms of fitting on the floor, because when they had Kyle Kuzma, he never looked right. And what I mean by that is he always looked like the odd man out. He always felt like the square block trying to get into a round circle. Like, that's what Kyle Kuzma was. You trade him and you bring in Russ, who has the same problems. If anything, they're more prominent. So it's like, I don't know what's happening. And on top of that, it seems now that LeBron is kind of going down in terms of his availability. Now, I don't know if it's like a legit injury, or if they're just blowing it a little bit out of proportion and trying to be strategic and go, look, Bron, sit down for a while. Let's have Russ fit in, and when he fits, we'll put you in because you'll be able to go in. I don't know what it is.
I think that's what it usually is, because I want to say they did the same thing last year, and they usually rest LeBron to get everybody else to jail.
mesh
Then they answer LeBron back in to try to make a run. When everybody else is jail, they answer LeBron back in.
Right. And again, for me, like, if you look at all the other teams, I mean, the Jazz, I said this. Was it last year they were the number one seed? Yes, it was last year. I've said this. They were one of, if not the most overrated one seed in the history of the NBA. The three, like, I have that third, I had that Atlanta Hawks team. The one when Brown was in Miami and they had Jeff Teague and Kyle Korver and Al
Big
Horford.
Four.
Yeah, and everyone was like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, they were a one seed, but everyone, like, no one, people for some reason thought they could do it. And it was like, yo, come on.
It's a one seed that you're not really afraid of.
Exactly. And then two or one gets a toss up. It's between that Jazz team and my Celtics. I think it was 2016 when we had Isaiah Thomas and we almost lost to the 8-seeded Bulls. Like, if Rondo does not get injured, we're losing in the first round. 110%. So
I remember that series. The three alphas.
Yeah, bro. Like, we was out here getting cooked by an 8 seed, and I was like, bro, I hope we get swept. Like that. That's how bad it was for me, and we ended up losing. But that's kind of where I put them. I'm not really scared of them. No, you can get the number one seed. That's fine, but that really don't matter because they had the one seed last year and it really didn't do much for them. Again, if you look at all the other teams, the Suns, I like the Suns, but I just don't. Golden State just took me by surprise. They took me by 100%. They took me by surprise. And like I said, it's just right now, especially with everything really going on, I think this could potentially be one last final year for Golden State to be legit contenders. You know what I mean? Like, back, you know what I mean? Because eventually, you know what I mean? They're gonna start falling apart. You know what I mean?
Maybe one or two, depending on if they keep Wiseman, how he developed. If he can be like a 20 and 10 guy, somebody you can run your offense with, and you got the shooters around him.
Right.
I can say it extend the window. So it's all about Wiseman. But if they trade that young guys to get another star,
I hope they don't because I like Wiseman there. I really do. I like him a lot. But it's
not to be political. Golden State Nets finals sound like more money than a Lakers Nets finals to me right now.
Well, yeah, but it's just because Golden State's the better team right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I think it's kind of funny. Like, you and I have the same people coming out of both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now it kind of poses like the second part of the question, which I'm curious about. Because we both have Lakers and Lakers. So we both have the Warriors and Nets. Who you have in that? I think it's going 7.
Yeah.
I got the Warriors. I genuinely I got the Warriors.
See, for my answer, it all depends on Kyrie. Like, if Kyrie come back, man, I think we're without
Kyrie.
But I just can't. Kevin Durant, man, I can't bet against Kevin Durant, so I got to go with the Nets.
And I mean, again, I think this is really one of those finals where you can't really pick a wrong one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously someone's gonna win, but you can make a case for both teams. You can make a case for
because what Warriors said, I'm looking at Wiseman. They don't have the Nets have nobody to guard Wiseman, and right now outside of Patty Mills and LA, they don't have enough bench. So both teams got flaws. So it comes down to Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And I gotta go Kevin Durant.
I can't believe you really got mad. I got Steph. I'm thinking if we were like that, I'm taking Steph, and then even that, or if you want to take James Harden or Clay, based on their respective roles, I got Clay. Because again, this is a dude who can
I'm
he go ahead.
it's not I'm 51% Nets and 49% Warriors. So it's close.
Oh,
It's close.
mhm.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying K would it's close to me.
I'm there with like I said, it's gonna be. I think it'll go 7. And I
Yeah.
think every single game it's gonna be close. Like I
Yeah.
don't think there's gonna be oh my god, there's like a 125-97. We're not
Yeah.
gonna see any of that.
Uh-uh.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be very back and forth. And
And if James Harden don't step up, hey, he gonna get a lot of criticism because it's all gonna depend on Klay Thompson and James Harden because Steph and KD gonna show up.
oh no, 100%, they're gonna show up. And like you said, James Harden has been a little iffy.
Yeah.
Um, against the game against the Raptors, 10 for 20, 50% from the field, 28 points. Struggled from the 3-point line, only 3 for 10, but got 10 rebounds, 8 assists. It looks like he is on his way back, especially considering the last his last outing over 20 points was back in on. No, I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm looking at this wrong. Yeah, don't, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't do drugs. I'm looking at it wrong. They had it all messed up. So let me pull it up. This season. So yeah, so okay, so here's how it went. So on the 14th, yeah, so on the 14th, they played the Thunder. Um, the game against the Raptors was on the 7th, on November 7th. Um, if you really look at it, um, and since for like the last for a while now, he's only been over 20 points 3 times.
Mm.
And again, those 20 points, it's not like they were booms. It was a 29 on October 29th against the Pacers. It was a 28 November 7th against the Raptors, and then a 39 bomb November 12th. So
So I know the Bulls held him to like 18 points, 16 points, something like that.
14.
14, yeah.
Yep, on the 8th, it was 14. So far this year, his averages, he's getting about 35 minutes a game, 19, 7, and 9. Which the 7 and 9 I like.
Yeah.
My only issue is, the under 20
19.
points on under 43% shooting.
Yeah.
That's the concern I have. Now again, I think he'll pick it up. I think he will.
Yeah.
I just think because he still doesn't understand that the rule changed, so he's still trying to do that. Once he adjusts, I think he'll be okay. I guess he just feels like he'll still get the whistles with.
Yeah, he just but
with
he'll come to realize that he not getting no whistles.
He'll change. Oh yeah, now he gonna have no choice.
Yeah.
He definitely won't be he definitely won't have a choice. But yeah, like I said, I think it's very interesting how you and I have it Nets and Warriors. I'll be honest, I hope that's what we get. Because I'm telling you, if we can get that, that'll be one heck of
Or
one heck of
Bulls Warriors, I'd be fine with that. But
yeah,
just to,
yeah, 100%. If it's Bulls Warriors, Bulls getting swept. All stars in new situation. Um, uh, Look, Cam is back. Super Cam is in the building. He got a touchdown. Took off his helmet, went to the camera, started screaming, "I'm back!" And it's like, okay.
people was shitting on him for that. Like
I was 110%. I was 110%. And you want to know why? Yes, I was. And you want to know why?
Yeah.
Did he lead them up the field? No. PJ Walker did. And I felt bad because I'm like, why are you not going to give this kid the opportunity to finish when he's the one leading them down the field? And then what, you're going to call on Cam just because he came back? To me,
And
that blew my mind.
he's a threat. He's a threat in the red zone.
I don't know. I feel like at this point, I feel like my guy was robbed. I really do, like, and again, I would rather them have, just started camp. I'd rather have them just start a camp rather than be like, oh yeah, yo, PJ, you got to start. By the way, every opportunity you get for a touchdown, yeah, we're gonna take it from you. Like every time, look, like he went. Ask me how many touchdowns he got.
I won't say who Cam.
Zero, zero. No. Walker, PJ Walker,
Uh,
Philip. He got no touchdowns. Meanwhile, he's leading them. He's helping lead them down. Now, I'm not saying he's the sole reason. We're going to twist it because clearly, let's be honest, Christian McCaffrey had 13 touches for 95 yards. So when you have a guy like that who has only giving you yardage but also running down the clock, that's going to help. But at the same time, why you gonna take my guy's touches? You know what I mean? Like,
but I feel like it was them easing Cam, and they want to just throw him right out after just not playing football for what been 10 weeks. So they just want to ease him on in, get his confidence running.
who do you think starts?
Next week,
hmm
who they play next week?
I'll tell you right now. Because if I'm not mistaken, they got a cake game. Washington football team.
Ooh, Chase Young just went down.
You up 20 ACL, so he's out. He's out.
They might start Cam. They might start Cam. Who they play? After that is Washington. I mean, after that is Miami, right?
Yeah, so their next three, they should win. It's very favorable because they got Washington. After Washington, like you said, Miami, then they got the Falcons.
Mm.
So these next three games are very, very, very winnable.
Yeah.
Then it goes downhill because after that it
I
goes.
can't, I can't even say Miami because they tossed Lamar Jackson around. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
but here's my thing: Are we gonna see that? Are we gonna see that again? That's my concern because this listen that defense we saw, that was a defense that we should have seen all year. If we're gonna be honest,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. They came one game, which is great, but my thing is, can we legitimately and like, can we really rely on this defense to step up again? And
Nah.
this year, I don't think so. I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Right.
kind of my thing. But again, on paper, I agree with you. Um, you know what I mean? Like I agree with you, but at the same time, you know, I don't. I just don't. I'm not a fan of it. Um, but just throwing it out there. So obviously on the screen on the bottom, with the scrolling text, we got the records of everybody. But for those of you who are not watching or is listening to this, so the top three teams in terms of record, the Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay Packers, and the Tennessee Titans, all 8-2. Right below them, we got two teams tied: Dallas Cowboys and Los Angeles Rams, both 7-2. Then we got three teams tied at 6-3. That's the Ravens, Bills, and Buccaneers. Then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I promise we're gonna talk about them later. I promise we're gonna talk about them later. 5-3-1. And then we have two teams who are tied 6-4. The Kansas City Chiefs and the greatest organization to ever grace God's green earth, led by Bill Belichick, the greatest head coach ever, formerly led by the greatest quarterback to ever grace God's green earth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, say with me now, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. And he's got a father, that senior, the one I'm talking about, junior. We're both 6-4. Then we got a whole slew of teams that are tied at 5-4. I believe four of them, which is the Bengals, Raiders, Chargers, and Saints. Then here comes what I love to call the 500 Club. They got four teams tied 5-5: the Panthers, Browns, Broncos, and Colts. Then 4-5, we got two teams at that: Atlanta Falcons and Minnesota Vikings. Right behind them, the Eagles at 4-6. Then we got the Niners at 3-5. Then we got two teams tied at 3-6. That is this. I like three teams tied at 3-6: the Giants, Seahawks, and the Washington Football Team. Then we got Miami Dolphins 3-7. Then we got the Jags and Jets tied at 2-7. Houston, at 1-8, and then we have the Detroit Lions, who I promise we'll get there, 0-8-1.
You forgot a team.
Who did I forget?
My Bears,
I
bro.
didn't forget the Bears.
I ain't hear you say the Bears.
Yes, the Bears.
You said the Bears.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. The Bears. Yeah, they're 3-6. They're tied with the. Yeah, they were. I didn't say, just in case I didn't say them. Just in case, let me just say it again. The Bears are tied with the Giants, Seahawks, and Washington Football Team, 3-6. I did not mean to disrespect the Chicago Bears like that, but I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. In terms of Cam, look, me personally, he's back. Whoop de doo. I, I don't really care about this move like that. I don't. Yeah, it's a cute feel good story because Cam's going back to the Panthers and whatnot. But let's see how he does in 2-3 weeks. You know what I mean? I don't want to look at this one game where he went 3 for 4, which is cute and all, but he wasn't the one that was leading them down the field. That's how I look at it. You know, if you want to give him a start, let's give him a start. Let's see if he can play. Football bell to bell, or whistle to whistle. But at the end of the day, I just don't. I don't think it matters like that, And to go to the second portion of this question, does this put more pressure on OBJ to make it work in LA? Yes and no. Because the thing is, go ahead.
well, before we move on to OBJ, I mean, my thing with Cam Newton, I'm happy he's back because I feel like he shouldn't have been let go by the Panthers in the first time because it wasn't his play, it was injuries. And I still feel like with the Patriots, he still showed us he got a little bit left in his tank. And looking at the quarterbacks that's playing now, you gotta say Cam Newton is better than half the quarterbacks that's starting.
Like who?
You couldn't tell me that not Mac Jones, Zach
Oh, I was
Wilson
about to say you can't say that because Mac Jones took a starting job.
You can't tell me that Mike White. Come on now, Cam can do better than the Mike White or Washington. Washington could have needed a quarterback type
No,
of Heineken.
Nope. Washington's going to stay far, far, far away from him. I'm glad they didn't pick him up.
You could have even went Fitzpatrick last year. Somebody to play. If you want somebody to play for the two, you could have went Cam Newton. There's a lot of quarterbacks that teams that needed quarterbacks. That look at the Saints. They could use a Cam Newton.
Now probably.
But it still fall on Cam Newton too because I feel like this is your opportunity to still prove that you can play. Take it serious, man, because especially him being a black quarterback, they waiting for you to show that you can't play no more. Then your West, you gone. So yeah, it's on Cam Newton to prove that he can still play.
Yeah, it is. And look, like I said, to me,
but he do deserve another shot, one last shot to prove
it. Yeah, I mean, look, for me personally, and no disrespect whatsoever, but at the same time, we also need to understand that Cam Newton right now, not to say he's a scrub, but let's call it what it is. He's just not
elite.
Right. He's not at the part of his career where he just deserves to walk on to start. He's not there anymore. He's not, Now, in terms of a backup, don't get it twisted. I think he could be a very, very serviceable backup.
He's a backup. Sam Darnold's hurt. They brung in Cam Newton.
Here's the problem. You're now opening a box because if he plays one good game, just one good game, guess what's going to happen? They're going to try to get Sam Darnold out of there.
Oh, they probably set him down. Yeah, we need tickets low. We need a boost. You come, sure you can still play. Maybe somebody assign you next year, or if we bring you back next year, we still running with Sam Darnold. What's the chance you might can still play? Because Sam Darnold giving you the same thing Cam Newton gave the Patriots last year.
Yeah,
he's just an older Sam Darnold right now.
He kind of is But at the end of the day, I mean, hey, Cam's back.
You, you
I like I
just
said, I'm not. I'm. You said what
you
happened?
just dump the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, 10 yards, 10 yards. You ain't got to Cam ain't even got to go deep. Just run the football, dink and dunk. Here,
That's
15
what happened.
yards here, 10 yards here.
Hmm.
Once you get to the goal line, you use Cam to rushing touchdown.
Yeah, and like I said, we will see how that plays out. But do you think that with his return and how much everyone's kind of hyping it up, does this put does this kind of put OBJ in a situation where he sees that and is like, damn, I kind of gotta, make sure I'm on my P's and Q's.
There's more pressure on OBJ than it is on Cam Newton. What Cam Newton only was 30, 32 years old. So, he already on the decline. OBJ in California on the Rams team that's a really good Rams team that got Super Bowl on their mask. So you gotta perform on the big stage. Cam Newton with the Panthers, nobody really worried about them right now. But as far as OBJ, yeah, you gotta show up.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think that this kind of puts more pressure on him. Only
Yeah.
reason being is
Especially
because
Woods just went out. So now you went from 15 targets to maybe way more than that.
right, and that's kind of really what it comes down to is because at what that when he first came in, people were kind of just like, yeah, they'll probably run him a couple plays. Now you almost have to be a version of Odell that you were in New York. Like you almost are gonna have to be that guy because look, they're gonna double Coop, and look, Cooper Cup, he's the guy's great. Double teamed, I don't know how he'll be. You know what I mean? Like once they actually really legit start double teaming the guy, and now it's to the point where you can't really do that because now you got OBJ on the other side.
Yeah.
You got to be careful double teaming because if you do that, you're now kind of in essence opening up the side, one side of the field for either OBJ or Cooper Cup. Um, I will say that I think there is more pressure in terms of OBJ's reputation, and the reason I say that is because we got to understand for some unknown reason there is this false narrative that OBJ is a cancer. I don't know who started it. I really don't. I don't know who started it. I don't know why people started it. I don't know why people started piggybacking on it. But OBJ is not a cancer. He never has been. He never will be. Now he's a malcontent. He is. When things don't go his way, does he kind of throw a temper tantrum at times? Yes, of course. But again,
All-star
just put it in
receivers do.
context. Go ahead.
All-star receivers, if they ain't getting the ball, they throwing the fit. So
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like most elite receivers are doing that. And on top of that, the first year when he was in Cleveland, OBJ didn't say anything. They were fine. Why? Because they were winning. Winning solves all. OBJ is willing to not get touches as long as they're winning. That's all it comes down to. So now it's this weird thing where OBJ can't really, if he sneezes the wrong way, people are going to look at him funny. And they're going to be like, oh my God, you see, this is the problem with him. So that's why I think, you know what I mean? Because Cam came back, scored a touchdown, took his helmet up, it was like, I'm back. Right? And I was like, I mean, whoop-de-doo, yeah, you're back, but let's pump the brakes also, bro. Like, come on, fam. Like, you didn't do much. Come on, let's pump the brakes a little bit. If you played the full game, I get that. But I think it puts pressure on OBJ because here's the thing. Cam is acting a fool, and everyone's eating it up. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying off the field he's a cancer or anything. I'm not going like that. But this is a guy that when he does whatever he wants, he talks, walks, acts how he pleases, and he gets praised for it. OBJ kind of does the same thing, and we ridicule him for it. So I think OBJ is kind of going to be even under a closer microscope. The microscope is going to be magnified even more to the point where, like, if he steps on a blade of grass and that blade of grass doesn't get mowed in the morning, it's going to be OBJ's fault because the imprint he had lowered that blade of grass too low, so the blades on the lawnmower wouldn't have gotten it.
yeah. And that's because he's with the Rams, the Super Bowl contender team, and if he do go there and have one bad game, the blame goes on him because everything was clicking before he got there. So of course, all the blame goes to
Mhm.
OBJ. Whether than Cam Newton, he's on a Panthers team that started off hot, been struggling ever since. He come
Yep.
one rushing touchdown, one passing touchdown. Oh my God, Cam's back. He's the
Right.
savior. Maybe things go in the right direction. So it's both guys to go into two different situations where narratives is so different. So only my advice to OBJ is no, just be humble, man. Just be humble for the rest of the year and play consistent and help the team out. I just hope Stafford don't force feed him the ball
I don't think he will. I don't.
just
I
to
don't.
get him
I don't think
going,
he will. I don't think he will.
to try to get him going. You don't think so?
No, only because at this point now OBJ is going to be the legit. I thought they were going to in the beginning to make him feel more comfortable, but now that Robert Woods is out, OBJ is going to just fit into that role naturally to the point where they're probably going to have a couple of specific plays set up for OBJ, but also at the same time he's going to get his fair share of touches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I personally I don't think, and on top of that, enforcing like Matthew Stafford is not a bad quarterback. He's the best quarterback OBJ has, and it's not even close. It's not even close. So, for me, I don't think that's going to be a problem in terms of forcing it. I really don't. But speaking of football, we are going to give grades on certain teams who performed and or underperformed. Starting with the first one, I watched this game, by the way. Um, I was mad at myself. So I was playing Call of Duty and I had a horrible game. So I decided to punish myself. So I watched the Steelers and Lions. The Steelers, A, B, C, D, or F.
Man, I go with an elf. I mean, I know you ain't got Ben, but how do you tie with the Detroit Lions?
Oh, that's easy. Nobody wanted to win. I watched that game. Nobody wanted to win. And by the way, before anyone says, you know, when you grade someone, there's no E. Oh no, there E. There is an E, and that's why I'm gonna give this Steelers an E. E for error, because these dudes had a mental error. Because there's no way on God's green earth. Look, let me ask you a question. What do you think about Mason Rudolph?
He's uh,
You
above
don't got to be
average
nice.
backup. He's a
No,
he's
he's worse.
a
He's worse than average. Look, listen. He's dog shit. Let's just call it what it is. The
well. I
highlight,
mean,
hold on. The highlight of his career is when Miles Garrett hit him with his own helmet. That's the intro and outro to his entire. That's the intro and outro to his highlight reel. And in between, there's only one clip, and it's a picture of his head dented in. That's it.
I mean, he did have a couple of good games after Ben went down. When I say the 8-8 year, he had a couple of solid games, but that's why I say above average backup. Not
Nah,
he still should have been good enough to beat the Detroit Lions.
no, I disagree, 110%. And I don't, and I don't see this weird enamor people have with the kid. I don't think he's good. His reaction time is very slow. When a play develops, he doesn't know what he's doing, and pray to God that the play doesn't break down. Because if it breaks down, that kid has no idea what he's doing. Absolutely not. In no world should he be throwing 50 times in an NFL game. There is no way, no how a guy like him is throwing 50 times.
Now we got Najee Harris.
And that's what it comes down to. Like last year, what was the biggest problem that the Steelers had?
Run game.
Now you got Najee Harris, who can not only run the ball but can also catch. Why not just force him the ball? Feed him the ball. But no, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. He got 26 carries, 105 yards. He should have gotten. Ain't no way Mason Rudolph should be out throwing. He should not have more throws than Najee Harris has rushes. Ain't no way you're gonna sit there and tell me that with a straight face. There, and on top of that, on the other side, Jared Goff. You played overtime. My guy still couldn't get 120 yards. That
The whole overtime.
bro. Come on, bro. You tell me you couldn't get that? Like, that's absurd. DeAndre Swift, 33 carries for 130 yards. which I liked, by the way. I liked. Jared Goff, he hit a couple dots. I think it was um I think it was Khalif Raymond he hit on a beautiful dot. Um,
I want to know what made you even tune into this game.
I told you I was punishing myself. You want to know what it really was? See, this was one of the games I thought the Lions had a legitimate chance in. So I wanted to watch because I was like, what if they won this game? Do you know how historic this would be? Like, this would be great. So I wanted to say I witnessed history. I really wanted to say that. Hated myself afterwards.
You think they win the game this year? Cause they going to Cleveland next week, then the Bears, then Vikings, then they go to Denver, Cardinals, at Falcons, at Seahawks, and then Packers.
So,
What if they beat the Browns?
of course, you. My thing is, I thought this, excuse me, against the Steelers was their most winnable game. Like you said, after they got Browns, I think that's an L. Bears, I think that's an L. Vikings, maybe. I think maybe because this Vikings team kind of has been a little inconsistent. Well, not a not a little lot because inconsistent. So I think maybe the Lions have a chance there. They're losing against the Broncos. They're losing against the Cardinals. And then maybe the Falcons. Maybe. I thought this right here was their best shot. And I thought that with Ben Roethlisberger. Now, without him, it was horrible. But yeah, I'm giving the Steelers an E for error because these.
I hope they beat the Browns.
I personally don't see it. I don't see it. I think the closest the game that I think they have another legit chance of winning is against the Falcons, and then the Vikings. I kind of look at that as a little bit of a long shot. I don't think it's as legit. And I kind of got it penciled in. With this one, I had it pending. That's how confident I was, and they ended up tying. But you give them an F. I give them an E. We both agree. This Steelers team is dog shit. Speaking about how you say you want the Lions to beat, the team that you wanted to beat, the Browns, got mollywop. Mollywop. Say it one more time. Mollywop by the New England Patriots. What's the grade?
I give the Browns an F.
I'm with you. I'm with you. They came out nice. They had they had an 11 play touchdown. After that, they were stagnant.
Yeah.
They were stagnant. They didn't know what the hell to do. They were like, oh my god, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Like, and like I said, I told people, Baker Mayfield. I like Baker. The Nick Chubb was gonna be out. And so was Kareem Hunt. And I was like, look, this guy, you're gonna put all the pressure on him, and it's gonna go one of two ways. Either he will thrive gloriously or fail miserably. Like that's kind of really what you get with Baker. Like it's not, it's one or the other. He failed miserably. He had a horrible game. It was bad. You know what I mean? And like I said, he 11 for 21 for 73 yards, one touchdown, and an interception. Dearness Johnson had another good game.
Yeah.
19 carries for 99 yards. I thought they should have ran the ball with him more. They did use him in the passing game. He led the Browns
with 7
in both receptions and yards. 7 receptions for 58 yards. But you look at the Patriots. Matt Jones was hitting dots, man.
Yeah.
It was hitting dots, man.
Hoyer even scored the touchdown. I'm looking at on the last minute.
He even got in on the party a little bit. In terms of receivers, Hunter Henry had 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 37 yards. Kendrick Bourne had 4 receptions for 98 yards. Jacoby Myers 4 receptions for 49 yards, and Brandon Bolden 3 receptions, 38 yards. And Stevenson came in at running back because we kind of were a little depleted. He had 20 carries for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you picked him up from the waiver wire, God bless you. I hate you with great intensity. This dude absolutely balled the flip out. But yeah, I'm with you. I give the Browns an F. You have to. They came out hot, but then when the Patriots responded, they kind of were just like, oh, like going into the second quarter, it
I
was
mean,
7-7.
I feel like the Browns is just so it's easy. You just a run first team, so it's just
Yep.
like
Yep.
you know they,
And that's the thing. Like when you're a run first team, it puts you in this weird position where when your running backs are out, you're kind of screwed a little bit. You know what I mean? The it was 7-7 going to the second half. The Patriots then went on to score 38 unanswered points. Um, it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter how your offense is set up. Once you're doing that, you're kind of putting yourself in a bad position. Um, and again, when it came to running, they had something. They had like again, Dearness Johnson. He almost had 119 carries for 99 yards. His average was 5.2. If you give him a few more touches, who knows? But again, you and I both agree. But let's flip the script on the other side of that same game, the New England Patriots. I'm gonna start 100%. I give him an A plus plus. Um, it was a near perfect day, offensively and defensively. Like I said, Stevenson he showed up, did his thing, had absolutely no issues at all. Like I keep telling people, Mac Jones is the best quarterback in this league, and not the league. I'm sorry, in this draft class, he is, and the reason is because a lot of the intangibles that this kid has, he like that a lot of quarterbacks he got. He could read a defense. He's got accuracy. I like the kid. I really do. And on top of that, the fact that you got guys starting again, Stevenson stepped up big. Kendrick Bourne had a couple touches for rushing. And so did J.J. Taylor. I just think on top of that, the defense. Kyle Duggar had a pick, which I loved a lot. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, once Baker threw that pick, I started chuckling because I was like, the Browns officially looked dejected. I was like, it's kind of a wrap. It is what it
yeah,
is.
I get a Patriots an A plus. I like it was just something about Mac Jones. I thought he was gonna be good in the right system with the right team, man. I'm glad he fell to the Patriots because once the Bears moved up, I'm like I don't
I thought
think
we were going to get Fields originally. I thought
yeah,
we were going to get Justin Fields. And then when I saw the Bears had moved up, I was like, ain't no way they were going to pass on Justin Fields.
yeah, I couldn't see Mac
Yeah,
Jones
I was
in the
like,
Matt Nagy.
there's no way they're going to pass on Justin Fields because, you know what I mean? Then they
But
did that, and I was like, well, we have it. And I'm not going to lie. Originally, I was a little, when we got Mac Jones, I was like, eh. But I was like, you know what? Let me give this kid an opportunity.
yeah,
And when he did that, I really started re-looking back at his college play, and he's not athletic, but he
yeah.
doesn't pretend to be.
Because nowadays people love the athletic quarterbacks, but
Right.
sometimes that one quarterback who's not athletic but still
But
can
got
make
this.
plays, yeah. And I feel like that's Mac Jones. So that's why I never was really down on him. I just knew if he went to New England Patriots, I knew he was gonna be good. Oh, even Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin, I thought that would have been a,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
a good
yeah. He
good
would have
pairing
been
too.
if Pittsburgh had gotten them, they would have been way better.
And I feel
But
like the 49ers should have grabbed him.
yeah, I know. I Trey Lance should not have declared for the draft. He should have went back another year. He's not even close to ready. But the next team we got to give a grade after throttling the Jets 45-17. How do you grade the Bills?
I get the Bills an A plus, like I did the Patriots, because they came back after that horrible loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I predicted they were gonna blow the Jets out, and
Mm-hmm.
they did. So gotta give them an A plus.
Yeah, 100%. They scored more points in the first quarter than the Jaguars did the whole game, and in the first half, they scored more points than the Bills and the Jaguars scored last week combined. Um, Then they erupted in the third quarter for 21 points. Josh Allen had two touchdowns in terms of rushing. Devin Singletary had a touchdown. Matt Breida had a touchdown. So did Zach Moss. And Isaiah McKenzie also had a touchdown. So you're getting touchdowns from a whole bunch of other guys. The only knock I have on this team, I want them to run the ball a little more. that's something they need to work on. Devin, like
Singletary only 7 carries. That's not gonna
yeah,
cut it.
like look at like 7, 7, and 3. Between that's kind of like the most they've had, and like that's kind of like their top three rushers. I don't like that because again, what they're kind of like the anti version of the Ravens. The Ravens love to run, 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 run. The Bills love to pass, 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 pass. And you
Yeah.
need some sort of dimension. Like you need to be able when the passing isn't working, step away from it and run the ball. And on top of that, when you have a solid run threat, guess what you can do? You can use a play action and you can utilize it perfectly. So that's really the only concern I have with this Bills team. Clearly, we knew they were going to beat the Jets. I just needed them to dominate. By the way, you heard what
Yeah.
Mike White said?
Yeah. I just been touch on that too. I was gonna say they could have
I
won.
should have been. I should have been the number one pick.
Yeah.
Comes out, he no touchdowns, 4 picks, and and it was funny because I'm like, yo, the NFL play. I'm like, don't forget what happened when Mike White what's it called when Justin
Justin
Fields said,
Fields.
oh yeah, bro, the game it was game is slow. The next week got cracked and lit up, and he's like, bro, yeah, was that slow? Was it slow then? You know what I mean? Like Mike White, bro. Relax, settle down, breathe. You know what I mean? But him throwing the ball, kind of the same thing about Mason Rudolph. Him having 44 throws. I don't know. I don't know what NFL we living in, but
I mean, it's the Jets, so
I mean, yeah, sure, but at the same time, ain't no way. I mean, in terms of receiving, Corey Davis, 5 receptions, 93 yards, which was solid. Elijah Moore, because even though they lost, Joe Flacco came in. He ended up getting a touchdown to Elijah Moore, who he himself 3 receptions, 44 yards. I'm with you. I give them an A+. They handled their business. They did what they had to do. They came out and dominated. And that's what I expected. I made sure as long as you come out and dominate, I'm willing to forgive what happened with the Jags.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I was looking at it. Next week they face the Colts, which is going to be a good test. They need to keep that. They need to keep the energy, and they need to keep going through. But speaking of upsets, the Washington football team upset the greatest quarterback ever in Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, 29-19. What grade you give them?
I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them a B+.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm
mm.
gonna give them a B+.
I'm gonna give him an A.
A.
I'm giving him an A.
I
Look,
just don't want to get everybody 2 A's. So I.
no, I feel you. I feel you. But here's the thing: the Washington look, and to put it in context, what people kind of are forgetting, this is the same Washington football team that last year took the same Bucks team down to the wire in the wild card game. So I had the Bucks, but I was like, it ain't gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be a contested game. Taylor Heineke, 26 for 32, 256 yards with 1 touchdown. Who, by the way, this kid is gonna be this kid. I hope Washington kind of gives him an opportunity to be a franchise quarterback because the way this
You
kid is
think
balling
so?
out, yes, yes, yes. At this point, when it's to the point where you're going up to the kid and saying, "Yo, you need to get us the win," you're kind of putting it in his head like, all right, bro, they really believe in me.
But franchise quarterback, I don't know. He's 28, so
Heineke,
yeah,
yeah, but you can give him an opportunity still.
yeah.
I'm saying just keep him for a few years, do your thing, and then if you want to find another quarterback in a couple years in the draft, go ahead. But in terms of rushing, Antonio Gibson, 24 carries for 64 yards, which and 2 touchdowns, which on paper is not really good because he averaged less than 3 yards per carry. But you also got to understand they did that to kill the clock. That was the purpose of them rushing the ball like that. So I like that. Terry McLaurin, 6 receptions, 59 yards. DeAndre Carter, 3 receptions, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Um, Fred Jackson, I'm sorry, William Jackson the third. He got an interception. So did Bobby McCain. Both of those picks coming in the first quarter. And then after that, Tom Brady, he did have 2 touchdowns, which
Yeah.
is nice. He threw one to Mike Evans, and then he threw another one to Cameron Brate, which again I like, but at the same time, Tom Brady, 220 yards. Those 2 picks kind of did kill him. Leonard Fournette, 11 carries, 47 yards. Chris Godwin had the most receptions, 7 receptions, for 57 yards. Look, man, 100%. Man, I gotta give the Washington football team an A. They came
Yeah.
out, they played, they executed, and it goes to Ron Rivera because here's the thing: a lot of coaches don't pay attention to the clock until it's too late. When they're at the end of the game and it's a close game or whatever. Ron Rivera, you could see him was constantly looking up at the clock, then constantly looking up at the clock, and he understood as long as we don't give Brady the ball, we're gonna be okay. Like we can't put ourselves in a position where we gotta rely on we gotta rely on Tom Brady making a mistake. We already got two off of him. It's gonna be very, very difficult to force him to do a third because Tom, you know what I mean? Like this is Tom Brady. We need to respect him. So, um, but yeah, I gotta give the Washington football team an A. The final team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, what do you? They won 30-13 over the Denver Broncos. What you got?
I get an Eagles. I'm gonna give him a B plus. I think Hurts played solid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bridgewater should have made the tackle, but hey, I guess he pulled the Cam Newton. So yeah,
Right, the Super Bowl. Yep.
I give the Eagles a B plus. I feel like this. I feel like they should start building this team around Jalen Hurts. I feel like he proved that he can be a good quarterback in this league.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
Yep.
trying to find his stats right now to see
So
what.
Jalen Hurts, 16 for 23, 173 yards, two touchdowns and an interception. And then for Teddy Bridgewater, 22 of 36, 226, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions. Um, Philly came out hot. They had 10 points in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, they had 10 points as well. And then the Broncos also had 10. So in halftime, it was 20-10. Um, and then there was it ended up being the Eagles got 7 in the third quarter, 3 in the fourth, and then the Broncos only had 3 points in the third quarter and was scoreless the rest of the game. Jordan Scott, 12 carries, 83 yards, not bad. Um, but Devontae Smith was, you know, Devontae Smith,
Yeah,
two
they,
touchdowns,
they
four.
got the weapons. I like Devontae Smith. I like Dallas.
Dallas Goddard, yes, I
Yeah,
enjoyed Dallas Goddard. Um,
a regular. I don't. He been kind of hit or miss.
yeah, which I'm not mad. I'm gonna give them an A minus. This is a very solid defense. I think this too. Uh, so I'm not gonna poo poo on that. I will say this: the only issue I had was the fact that this was the game that the Eagles could have taken the top off. In the second half, to let Jalen Hurts throw the ball a little
Yeah.
more. Um,
Looking at his
but
stats, 2100 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. That's not bad. That's
it's not. Is really not. In terms of total yards, the Eagles had 386 total yards compared to the Broncos 308. Broncos did have more passing yards, but the rushing yards from the Eagles, it was so lopsided, 214 to 96. Um, and that rushing attack in and of itself was great. Time of possession, which is kind of really what was critical for this game, 38 minutes 58 seconds for the Eagles, 25 minutes and 2 seconds for the Broncos. This was a solid game. I wish they would have let Jalen Hurts fling the ball a little more,
yeah,
but again, 30-13 is not. It's going to be very difficult to criticize that and say that they messed up. They didn't have any pressure on Jalen Hurts. It really came down to we got a good rushing attack. These guys, we trust them. Jordan's, you got three guys going in the double digit in terms of rushing, in terms of carries. Jordan Howard had 12, Boston Scott had 11, and then obviously Jalen Hurts himself had 14. Howard got 83 yards, Scott had 81, Hurts with 53. So when you have that running attack, it kind of opens up for Jalen to be more comfortable, to relax, be all right. In terms of like the Eagles defense as well, they held Denver to 1 for 5 in the red zone,
yeah,
which helps. And then in terms of third down, 1 for 11. So especially considering that this same team over the course of what I think is all season, um, or not all. I lied. It wasn't all season. It was in the course of I believe it was like 2 or 3 games they've had their third down completion has been well over 50%. And doing all that, holding it down. On top of that, they also blocked the field goal, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
which that's like a hype thing. So for me personally, I think all that kind of I think top to bottom they kind of did their thing, and I'm gonna give them proper kudos and proper respect because they
Yeah,
deserve
look,
it.
future looking bright in Philly. I don't know about Denver. I don't think this Bridgewater quarterback is really the ideal situation for them going
Teddy Bridge,
forward.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Teddy Bridgewater is just a bridge for them to go get over that water, so that way they can find themselves another quarterback. That's really all it's coming down to. And it's a shame because when he was in Minnesota, his career looked, it looked like he was gonna be the one. Monday Night Football, Rams, Niners. Von Miller and OBJ are both active. In terms of the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo will get the start. However, Trey Lance will suit up. Um, who you got?
Um, uh, I don't know what I'm thinking about this. I'm going with the Rams. I don't think Garoppolo gets that defense, and I don't see it. No, I can't. Yeah, I'm going with the Rams.
You going with the Rams?
I don't think it'd be close. I think this might be, let me hold on, let me check the Niners schedule. Yeah, this might be the game that where they might destroy Jimmy G, and then I think Trey Lance step in for the rest of the way. Because look, after this Rams game, they got the Jaguars, Vikings, Seahawks, Bengals, Falcons, Titans, Texas, and then Rams again. So yeah, I think this the game that might be the nail in the coffin for Jimmy G.
Yeah, potentially. It's going to be
'Cause-
interesting to see in terms of what happens. I agree with you. I got the Rams. You know what I mean?
but
I think it's going to be pretty relatively easy.
yeah,
And then after today, the Rams have the Packers, which I believe they're going to end up winning. Then they play the Jag, which obviously that's going to be a stomp. Then the Rams play the Cardinals, which at that time, D Hop and Kyler Murray should come back, which I think will be an interesting one. That's going to be a tough one. I'm not to sleep on that one. Then they play the Seahawks, which even though Russ is back, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I think the Rams are going to win that one. They're going to beat the Vikings, beat the Ravens, and then they end the season as with the 49ers. I will say this, that last game when they play the 49ers, they're going to see the same quarterback. I think Jimmy G starts because, like I said, Trey Lance is not ready. He's not close to ready. If you throw him out there, you're gonna mentally scar this kid.
so you
He
think Jimmy G start the rest of the way?
I think so.
I mean, you got to give him some playing time. I mean, if he sit, he gonna be so far behind from the rest of the quarterbacks. From
But he's already behind, and it's not because of playing time. He's not good. He's not good.
you at least got to throw him out there and let him learn.
I mean, yeah, if you want, go ahead. Right now, he's not good. He should have went back to college. He should have. He should have. He should not have came out. And the fact that the Niners took him third, I believe, it's wild. I don't know what they see in this kid, but whatever they see, I'm gonna need to borrow the glasses to see if I can see it too. Because I believe this was a horrible pickup. It was horrible. Because again, this kid was not ready at all.
Yeah.
And they could have had Justin Fields. They could have had, and I think Justin Fields in the 49ers, I think Jimmy G would have been lost his job. You could even, I think he not only would he have lost his job, he either would have been traded, or they would have released him.
Yeah.
And I think
he probably would have played week one.
That's what I'm saying. I think immediately he's being the start. He's immediately the starter week one. I genuinely believe it because he's way better than Jimmy G right now. That's just me. But you and I both agree it's going to be the Rams with the win. And I'm just glad I'm not a 49ers fan. I really am because I don't got to deal with this stuff. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Patriots drafted this kid Trey Lance, Cam Newton will still be in New England. Not only will he still be in New England, he probably would have gotten an extension. And that's just the sad part about it. This kid is just not ready. Follow us on Twitter at Prideful Takes. Not only do we put out news and whatnot, all that good stuff, but we also go live there. And I love arguing with y'all. To me, it's the fun. It's the best part of my day. Catch us on Facebook at Prideful Takes. Not only do we put up also news and memes up there, but we also go live on Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, we're live on YouTube at Prideful Takes. Visit our website, www.pridefultakes.com. Not only do we have, not only is every episode of the podcast there, but we also have original articles. And also check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Prideful Takes Podcast. Mike, it's been another great Monday, my guy.
Of course, sir.
I'm going to see you next week. And like I said, next week, we going to talk Kobe.
Yeah, I most definitely want to hear your take.
And like I said, if you don't agree with me, it's fine. I just want you to at least hear me out.
I mean, everybody got their opinion. So I'm like you said, I'm gonna hear you out. And
yeah. And again, you'll disagree, but when I say it, like when I give you the reasoning, you're not gonna think I'm as crazy. You're just gonna be like, all right, you got some points, but I still don't agree. It's gonna be like one of those. Because every time I break it down for people, that's the reaction I've gotten. It goes from you're bugging to, all right, I don't agree, but I get where you're coming from. And I feel like that's where you and I feel like that's where we're gonna be. But on behalf of Mike, it's your boy Pride. We'll see you guys on the next one. Be safe.
Peace.
Knew where that was going. That was a great read. Oh, Lillard from the logo. That'll quiet the
2 on the season. 2nd and 1 for the Bills. They handle the rush. Allen looking. End zone.
To Shohei Ohtani. Center field. Let's watch it go.
Did several of those inside low kicks.